Hello. I want to thank you for all your teachings, and I'm very proud of myself that I attracted myself to your teachings. And as I've learned, being in the Vortex and being aligned with Source, it feels amazing, and I love to feel good. And I found that the more that I do that, whenever I do have contrast, I'm still not at that place where I just accept it as contrast and then move forward. It's very painful to be in that state. More painful than when I was before I knew about the Vortex.
Well, that is the way it begins, and you're far from the beginning. But that is the way it begins, because the more you discover alignment, that's why we say you can't go back. The more you discover alignment and feel the naturalness of it, then the more you dislike the resistance to that alignment. And so if you have not been deliberately and consciously aware of alignment, then you don't miss it. A friend gave Esther the best analogy the other day in a conversation. He said, it's like you've had a sinus infection for a really long time, and you haven't been able to smell, and you didn't know it. And you've been around stinky things like the garbage and different things, and you didn't know it. And then one day your head cleared up, and you said, man, that garbage really smells bad. And so we think that's a really good analogy, that the more you awaken to who you really are, then the more annoyed you are in the moments that you catch yourself not being who you really are. That follows, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
So what do you do about it? Well, what you do about it is just go as general as you can go and keep reminding yourself. And we gave you, all of you, a piece here today that we have not given to you before, that if you will focus on it and think about it, it will help you get through this phase of moving from step 3 work into step 4 work. And that is, you are the one who is placing the conditions that cause you the pain.
Right.
And if you could just accept that, I'm putting these conditions here. And the reason is, most of you, we've been saying this to you for years and years and years. Most of you are offering your vibration in response to what's happening. So if somebody's loving you, you offer your vibration in response to that. If somebody's hating you, you offer your vibration in response to that, which means you have no control. You're like a cork bobbing on the ocean. But when you understand vibration and you understand that you are source energy, and you begin thinking about who you are in terms of core, and you begin to catch glimpses of yourself in alignment, and you start as on easy things, and you encourage the momentum to increase until you get a handle on this vibrational climate that we are wanting to demonstrate that surrounds you. We called it your grid for a while, your point of attraction. This vibrational climate, once creating and tending to that climate is the stance from which you are reacting. Now hear the careful choosing of those words. If you're reacting from here rather than from what somebody else is doing, can you feel the stability in that? If you're reacting to what they're doing, if they're nice, that's one reaction. If they're not nice, that's another reaction. If the economy is good, that's one reaction. If the economy is bad, that's another reaction. If something bad has been spilled in the water, that's one reaction. If the lake is clear, that's another reaction. In other words, react, but nothing central. Mm-hmm. So you don't learn your own stability because you've been reacting to stuff. Well, now those of you who are hearing us here are ready to stop reacting to stuff and to deliberately start honing something to which you will react. Don't you want to respond to the source within you?
Yes.
Don't you want to respond to your worthiness rather than to your self-consciousness? Mm-hmm. So you just do that a little bit at a time until one day it's like the fulcrum tips and you just have it. Something happens, Esther experienced something the other day, and she acknowledged, if that had happened this long ago or this long ago or this long ago, it would have knocked me for a loop for a long time. And this did not knock me for a loop. Got my attention, but it didn't knock me for a loop, because I'm not loopable anymore. I'm not knockable, loopable anymore. I'm stable and exploring and happy. And that doesn't make me happier because I'm already happy. And that doesn't make me happier because I'm already happy. And that doesn't make me unhappy because I'm happy. I'm happy because I've trained myself into the vibration, and because me and my source are standing here together, not me separated from my source looking for approval from somebody else. This is big, isn't it?
Yes.
So how do you get there? A little bit at a time. How do you get there? One unhappy moment that you're not willing to tolerate at a time. One, well, that sucked feeling at a time. That sucked. I'm not going to go there again. I'm not going to do that again. I can rework my grid. So Esther remembers watching Groundhog Day with Jerry the first time, and they didn't come into it from the beginning, and so they didn't know what was happening. It was just a really weird movie. And finally, by about the end of it, they figured out that this guy was just getting to live the same day over again. And based upon what had happened yesterday, he improved the way he responded today. And while this is far from the perfect analogy, because we are not wanting you to respond to the way others are behaving and then just conjure a phony persona that covers it up. But we do want you to do your best to create your atmosphere and then notice what comes in. And if you don't like some of it, then do something about it by softening the way you feel about it, which in every case means go general. Right. And every time, this is accurate to say, we're saying this specifically to you. Every time you get into a situation where it feels to you like something has gone wrong, the primary thing that is out of whack is that you're trying too hard to make it happen too fast.
Right.
It's an impatience. It's an impatience. It's like, bring it to me even though I'm not ready.
Right.
We were talking to a woman one day who was talking about her grown son. Abraham, my son so wants a mate. Can you help me help him get a mate? And we said, no. And she was shocked. But Abraham, why? Why? And we said, because the timing isn't good. Because if he attracts a mate today, she'll be just like him. And they'll just bang around together. And they'll have a horrible time. And then they'll break up. She said, oh, that does keep happening. And we said, wouldn't it be ever so much better if he prepared himself for what he's reaching for? Because when you prepare yourself for what you're reaching for, and it comes, you really know it, you see.
Right.
And that's really what you're talking about.
That is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Enough, or you want something?
You nailed it. Thank you. You nailed it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.